Why is it? Okay.
Hello and welcome to the Early Bird Special with your hosts, Carole Montgomery and Julia Scotti. And now, here's Carole Montgomery.
We're going to make believe we have a theme song. Well, yeah, because I still don't know how to change that. So here we are. Hello, everybody. I'm very excited. I have new things in my, to start the show. I have my ring light, which I just want to show everybody how professional this stuff shit is now. Watch this. Ready? So this is soft because I'm 62. This is, whoa, that's way too sharp. This is, I like this. This is nice. This is warm. I also have a mic. I'm very excited. I got my Christmas present from my husband early. Basically, because I saw him looking at mics and I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, I'm just looking for a mic for the music. And then I realized he was buying me a mic. So, how is everybody? We are, it's December 15th, 10 days away from Christmas. Whoa, yeah. I'm Jewish, so I don't really care. Happy Hanukkah. I hope everybody is okay. We have a new president for the 476th time. He has won the Electoral College. But I'm going to go out on a limb here and say, I don't think it's over yet because I just don't. It's cold again in New York. They're threatening to shut us down again. We'll talk to our guest, Mary Kennedy, because she's in Los Angeles, and I think they already went into a full shutdown. I'm actually, for lack of a better, it's not that I'm hopeful. I'm just feeling good today. I think really the reason why I'm feeling good today is I didn't take a nap because I actually had to do things today. And I realized that I'm very wrapped up in my life of doing stuff, if that makes sense. Because I wake up and I immediately go to my computer to start working on whatever I'm doing, usually something with my show or Women of a Certain Age or the Early Bird Special. So I'm always doing stuff. And during the pandemic, it really hasn't been happening a lot. And so it kind of, you have to get used to the fact that you're not doing what you're usually doing. But today, for some reason, there was a ton of stuff that had to happen. And it was like, oh my God, this is what I used to love to do. I used to love to just be busy. And as soon as I'm busy, this week is actually busy for me, which is kind of fun. I'm doing a couple of podcasts. I'm doing a couple of Zoom shows. And I've already said to my husband, I'm so tired. I haven't even done anything yet, people. I am so tired because I know I have to do stuff now. But we're holding it together. I don't want to say I'm cautiously optimistic. The vaccine is out, which is pretty exciting, but I'm not sure. And I'm not one of those people that believes that like Bill Gates is putting a chip in my head, because I had that done a couple of years ago when I switched over from Microsoft. He, already had it in me. And I do find that very funny. I find it that the people who don't want to take the max are saying that that somehow he is, there's a chip and they're following us. But I want to just show you something. We all have a chip. It's called a phone. Okay, people, it's called a phone. They're watching us right now. So seriously, I'm waiting for Fauci. I am waiting for Dr. Fauci to say it's good, but he seems to be very happy. Like, he's been on a lot, excuse me, on all the different talk shows, and he seems very happy because he knows that possibly we're at the end of this horrific thing that's kind of thrown us all into a bit of a frenzy. So I hope you guys are okay. I appreciate you guys coming in and watching us and taking your time to join us. I'm going to bring on my fabulous co-host who I just love. I have to say that. I mean, she knows this, but I'm going to say it again because she completes me. That's all I'm going to say. She completes me. So let's give it up for my fabulous co-host, Julia Scotti.
So I got a ring light too. It is an actual ring light.
It is. Julia.
It's not on because here, look, it's also I can straighten out my teeth too. But it's a I can't use it. I look like a cyborg from Star Trek episode with these ring lights in my eyeglasses. So it's useless.
Put it over your head. It's like you're an angel.
No, I should put it on my. I like
Yeah.
the romper room. I see Betty and Bobby. Remember the YouTube? All right. So
Let me ask you-
waste the money right there. But how do you like the green screen?
That's not the green screen.
It is
That's
a
your
green screen.
office.
I'm actually in a Jiffy Lube on Route 37. Tom's River. I got a green screen too. No clue how to use it. Completely. I'm going to. Yeah.
I've got a new mic. I'm very excited.
Jealous.
We're taking it to the next level, Julia. We're taking it to the next level.
I'm stuck at a level.
Yes.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. You know, I have a question with your glasses. So now, if you took them off, let's say for the show, and
I assume I tried them without them, and I assume I'm fine. I can't see if I am, but I think I am.
So you're blind. You're blind either so you can't see far or near.
Oh no, I can. If I'm sitting like this now because I have my focus on looking at you.
Right.
I can't,
Right.
You look like it looks like when you put cream in a cup of coffee and it swirls. That's what you look like right now. I have to do this to be able to see you.
Wow.
I know. I think I'm due for trifocals.
What is trifocals?
That's intermediate distances. Like the bifocals are for the bottom parts for reading, the top parts for distance. But there's a gap. There's an area in my sight of vision that I can't see shit. Like I have to get real close like this, and real far like this. Please, people, they make fun of old people. You know what? You people are pussies. Where do you get? You're never going to be able to handle this. Able to handle all day.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a very good point. You
gotta have guts to do this, Cam.
You certainly do have guts to have to deal with. I mean, literally, the new thing for me is I think I've mentioned this before, but people who don't know me, but Julia and Mary knows I waddle when I walk, and I've always done this. I've always waddled, but it's after 62 years of doing this. Now, when I wake up in the morning, if I sit down immediately after I woke up, I can't move again because my back is killing me. So that's part of this whole being old shit. That I mean, I literally have to do this to get out of the chair, and I have to walk in the cold and to stretch my back out. So yeah, so what Julia says is true. Anybody who's watching who is young, you're pussies because you don't even fucking know what's coming.
Really, they all think they're so cool. They're hot snot. They're making fun of us when we walk by. Really, you spend a day in my orthopedic shoes, baby. Let me know. You'll go running, screaming back on his teeth. That's where you'll go. I don't want to hear it.
So
look like this.
You do look good like that. That's very, very. You look like you belong on a coin. Oh, now you can't see.
I can't see anything. All right.
And you can't have contacts, right? Or can you wear contacts?
I can't put things in my eye. I can't.
Why can't?
I can't put a thing in my eye. I can't. I have a thing about putting things in my eye.
It's not like you're not putting a dick in your eye. You're just putting a fucking contact lens.
I've had a dick in my eye, and I couldn't do that either. Like, get that away from my eye. Put it somewhere else.
Oh my goodness! All right, listen. Let's bring on.
Let's bring her on.
Mary Kennedy. The way we met, and I always loved it, was the Boston Comedy Festival a billion years ago. And one of the things I love about working with women more so than guys, let me just say why, is that when I ran the show, it was an all-female show. And I remember saying to every girl, okay, you have 10 minutes. I'm lighting you at 8. the show ran like clockwork, like, because that's the way female comics are. They're like, all right, we have 10 minutes. Like, nobody ever goes over time. So, and Mary was so Mary, what is that?
What is what?
Oh, it sounded like somebody else was in the room with me. Maybe it's a ghost. So anyway, I love working with Mary. She was such a professional then, and of course, for the people who watch Shameless, she was new Fiona, and she'll talk about that because I know Julie's a big fan of Shameless.
I am.
She's a great comic. She's done Funny Women of a Certain Age, the live version. We're hoping that if we ever get this to series, she'll be on one of the shows with us. So let's give a hand to Mary Kennedy. Woo!
Hello, how are you?
We're good.
I am so happy, thrilled that you're here. I have a million shameless questions, but you go, Carol.
Hi, Mare. How are you?
I am so good. I'm in LA. I'm on lockdown. There's no going in or out. I've been stuck with my family for 9 months. Help! Yeah, it's been pretty intense, but I'm here.
So the thing that's weird about the lockdown in LA isn't it that you're allowed to, like, when we had the lockdown here, we were allowed to go to, like, get food and stuff like that. So you can get in your car and do that, correct?
Yeah, we can go get food. We can, some people are still getting Botox. But for the most part, I'm going to grocery shopping. One of us is the online grocery shopper. That's me, because, I need to risk my life for potatoes. So, that's what's happening here. My husband does not go food shopping. Everything is Instacart for him. So,
really?
Yeah, he refuses. So I have to go out because I like to feel my produce. Actually, I like to smell and feel it.
Yeah,
I'm with you, Mary.
But it's so funny you say that, because I do a lot of started to do a lot of online shopping. But when it comes to the meats, or the fish or the chicken or the produce, I have to go in and get it. Everything else, like the canned goods, they can deliver it to me, but I have to go in because I'm in Whole Foods every day.
Yeah.
I went banana shopping this morning. I had to get bananas, and I won't leave it up to the banana buyer. And they'll leave it. They'll meet you parking lot like a drug deal or something, But I really, you spot and I don't trust bananas in anybody else's hands but my own.
Exactly. I mean, like I literally, I'm in Whole Foods like every morning because that's part of my walk. And you see all the shoppers, because they have now personal shoppers. They're not looking. They're just taking shit and throwing it in their bag.
They don't care about you.
No, they don't. How do you know if you're getting a good tomato? That's all I'm saying. That's all. Why? How has this become a thing about produce?
I started it. I'm sorry. It's all I have in my life is that good banana. That's it.
But potatoes are a low risk vegetable in terms of quality. I mean, you're getting a potato from a stranger.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm honest, though. I have to get the good potato.
Well, are those the golden or the white potatoes or the red potatoes?
The golden.
The golden potatoes are good. I make them in the air fryer. Do you eat air fryer?
Not yet. Hopefully I'll get one.
Julia, really.
Fuck you now. You're dead to me now, Mary. I can't.
Seriously, Julia should be, if anybody, I don't know who does air fryers, but who's ever listening to air fryers, Julia should be the spokesperson. Because she
got me a new one. She got me a big, gigantic Cuisinart one. I could make an animal here in this thing. Huge.
So are you performing, Mary? What's going on? Are you? I saw that you had done a show. I think the Flappers virtual show.
Yeah, I headlined there on Friday. It was amazing. I've done about 120 Zoom comedy shows, and I've done 2 live shows. Masked up in a distance. in a hazmat suit. I was scheduled to do another in-person sort of drive-in gig, but we had to cancel it because everything was put inside for Thanksgiving weekend. So I'm doing, I'm performing. I'm doing the best I can. I mean, I'm auditioning a lot. I'm doing a lot of self-tapes. And, out in LA, we're COVID compliant. We're considered essential business. So I'm still auditioning, but everything's a self-tape. Everything is.
Yeah, I was going to say, you don't go down to the studio. You just go in and well, that's great, you know.
Is this for stuff? How far out in advance are you auditioning for projects? How far out?
They want to know my availability. One show I auditioned for, they want to know my availability June and July of 2021.
Wow.
Another one, like I had 2 commercial auditions they shoot next week.
Wow.
Kids that are in, through LAUSD have to get tested all the time. And we're not in school, we're online, but I'm taking my kids to get their COVID tests on Thursday and I'll get a COVID test then. So, that's sort of the life. And then if you book a job, you have to get a COVID test and you have to quarantine before you get on set. So you can't.
They test you on set though, don't they?
They test you 2 days before you hit set. And then if it's a long-term gig, like if it's a day play or whatever, they'll take the COVID test. But if you're a long-term, you're testing every week.
Wow. But I want to point something out that you said, which I think is fascinating, which is not what it's like on the East Coast, is that actors are considered essential workers.
Yeah.
That's in California. Like there's nothing like that here in New York. Like, you know what I mean? Like I don't even think they're shooting anything here. Are they?
Some of the stuff, but it's way, way out. Because the reason, I wouldn't say actors are essential workers per se. I would say filming, television and film is essential. Like, I don't want to be too big of an ego. But it's essential because honestly, it's our livelihood out here. Right. So many of my friends who are on the technical side got all out of work, because of the COVID. Because we all shut down, and then Eric Garcetti and Gavin Newsom sort of met and said they created the white sheet. They call it the COVID white sheet, and all production is using it. So, yeah.
Could you explain what is the white sheet? I'm not familiar with that.
The white sheet is like a 1-pager with how the production companies have to be COVID compliant. So they talk about getting your actors tested. You have to sign, COVID waivers. SAG and AFTRA got involved. Because your safety on set depends on OSHA, environmental, making sure that you're safe on set. So we can't even hit set unless it's safe.
Right.
So
yeah. Well, one of the things that I early on, and I talked about it on the show, was I love what Tyler Perry did because he started shooting again in August, and anything that his studio is an old army barracks.
Mm-hmm.
So if you do a Tyler Perry movie or a production, you're on the base now. You're there. He literally, you live there. So it becomes this little bubble like what the NBA did, where everybody stayed in the bubble, which I really do think is the smartest way to do that.
But essentially what they're doing with professional sports. They're doing the same thing, aren't they?
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to be working though. They all seem to be getting sick.
Well, the NBA, I think was the one that they actually were like they all. I think that, and I don't know because I'm not a basketball fan, but I think they were all staying in one area and then they played at one arena, so it wasn't as bad as, let's say, the Major League Baseball or football. Football, it's going through all the fucking teams. That's really the reason why the Jets suck, right, people?
Yes. Bravo. Well, go Pats. Go Pats.
Oh, yeah, fuck you and your Pats, all right? The Jets haven't...
We suck so bad that Tom Brady left us. I know. It's
but Tom Brady is a piece of shit. Anyway,
I'm with you on that. We agree.
Yeah. Yes. So Julia, I know it's killing you. So go ahead. Ask her about Shameless.
All right. Let's see. Now you hitting me to the wall. I loved your art.
Thank you.
And I remember before I knew you were going to be on. I remember watching you at the time, and I went, "This girl is fantastic."
Thank you.
I get the sense, and I could be wrong that, but watching all of the characters perform all of these seasons, that you pretty have to make the decision to put all dignity aside when you go on that set. They get you to do stuff you probably would never do in anything else. Am I on point with that?
Well, yeah, because, it's not a spoiler alert because, I did have a couple of nude scenes, for lack of a better term. And they weren't the pretty backlighting nude scenes. No. It was, no, I was an Ottawa prostitute who worked for food. So you can just imagine. But I love Shameless. I love the director. I love the casting. The casting director cast me on ER as a recurring role years ago. And then they called me in for this and I booked it. Ian McDonald, who is now one of the directors of production, was the director. And he told me, as soon as you walked in the room, I knew you were new Fiona. And,
Wow.
and so that was amazing. I mean, and they, what's so nice? It was that they gave me some sort of leverage in a way. Like they would tell me what they wanted. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then I just sort of quote unquote balls to the wall. I was like, this is an amazing opportunity. This is a way to put myself on the map. And, William H. Macy was my dad. So like I got all my scenes were basically with Bill. And it was such, and there's certain roles, like, I don't know if I would have done nudity if it wasn't Shameless.
Right.
I mean, I don't know if I would have put myself in that place. But, good director, good cast, incredible set. It's probably the best set I've ever worked on, that and Conan. And, I have to just give props to them because they make you feel like you're part of the family as soon as you walk in the door. I mean, that was amazing.
Like, just having seen them outside of the show and interviewed, and and that can be bullshit too. But I the sense I get is that he is a really just a mensch, when it comes to that show, because they get them to do stuff. I can't. Sometimes I'm watching them. I cannot believe they're doing it.
Yeah.
They do this.
And what I love the point that Mary made about the great set, because it's really, that really is so important, is how you're treated on set. Because if you don't feel comfortable, and people who are the civilians in our business and just see the actual finished product, we've all been on sets where we're like, oh my God, please, I can't wait to get off of this set. I mean, I remember, and I'm not going to mention who the guy is, or the TV show, but someone was doing warm up and he was such a prick, and it's like, wait a minute, you're doing warm up for the show. And he was just nasty. And I thought, it gave such a bad taste in my mouth from that. Do you know what I mean? So it's always much like with the shows that I produce for Showtime. It was a very chill atmosphere. I wanted everyone to feel comfortable. Do you know what I mean? Because we've all been, because if they don't make you feel good, then you can't do your job right.
Exactly. No, absolutely. And listen, I love telling this story because it's good for actors that have been, working a long time. I auditioned on a Tuesday. I found out Wednesday morning I booked the role, and I was on set on Thursday.
Wow.
And then I was on the show I was filming for 6 weeks, 2 weeks of the 6 weeks in Chicago. And I had my nude scene on Friday and Monday.
Wow.
It was like, they just threw me right in there. And there's a scene, just this sort of behind the scenes. There's a scene where I was supposed to eat chocolate chip cookies. And that was right before my nude scene. And so I was eating the chocolate chip cookies. I don't know if I was compulsively overeating, but I was like, all right, maybe if I get really fat enough, they won't know I'm naked. I was like, oh, and then I shot it. But, I had my own wardrobe person, because as soon as they shot it 6 times. It was a closed set. I came out of the shower naked, and my wardrobe lady, I would go out the door and then she'd bring me back in and she'd cover me in a towel. I go out the door, back and forth. And it was only the director, I think one of the producers, and my wardrobe person on set. It was a closed set. And the lady that I was acting in, and I knew this lady from comedy, and we knew we were acting together, and she didn't realize that I was nude in the scene. So I walked out of the shower nude, and that was the first time she saw me. And she was like, "Oh, I didn't expect to see that much of you."
I mean, well, I believe it. I find this hard to believe. I get asked to do very few nude scenes. But and I know it's a professional thing, but still, you're a human being. What goes through your head as you're about to do a scene like that?
Well, the wardrobe soup and I well, she's a wardrobe assistant, excuse me. She's a wardrobe assistant, and we said a prayer together. And then the first time was frightening. Like, I just was like, it's almost like she had to push me out.
Right. Wow.
And I went out, and then I heard over the God mic, they have a God mic, and he said, "No, that was really great." And he has an English accent, Ian, so that was kind of comforting. He's like, "That was really wonderful. Back to one." And I was like, and then I, but by the sixth time that we shot it, I was like, yeah, whatever. And then on that Monday, I had a moon. That wasn't as hard as mooning Patsy's Pies with Bill Macy and Arden Myrene, who was the guest star, his girlfriend. We're mooning, and that the background extras are sitting eating fake pie, and my ass is in their face. That was harder because the people were right there. And and the AD came out and said, "Mary, can you adjust yourself?" And I said, "Oh, you can see where my babies were born." He said, "Yes." So we had to bring it back. So that was hard.
Wow.
I apologized. I said, but Bill Macy was in it with me. He was doing the same thing. So
wow.
He blows my mind sometimes, because I mean, even the opening credit show, if you're doing stuff, you're getting laid, I think, in the bathroom, or I mean, it's just it makes I have mad respect for you, and I don't respect anyone.
And it's got to be great to be working with such a master like Macy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, when you get to work, like I always remember, Steve Sharippa, who for years ran the Rivera Comedy Club, and he's a great actor in his own right now. But I remember saying to him, "How fucking lucky are you? You get to work with Gandolfini, and of course I'm forgetting her name now. The wife who played the wife on The Sopranos.
Bracco, wasn't it?
No, that was
the psychiatrist.
Lorraine Bracco.
Lorraine Bracco.
It was a psychiatrist. It was.
I know. I can't believe it. She was a nurse Jackie.
Yeah. But how easy, not that you're not a good actor, because you're a great actor, Marion. Seems a great actor too, but how lucky is it that you get to be in, like, it still blows my mind, because to me, James Gandolfini was one of the greatest actors ever. So, and Macy's in that league too. So to be able to do that is got to be, as an actor, it's got to be mind blowing.
Yeah, Edie Falco.
Thank God somebody. Thank you.
I looked at it. He inspired me to be better. He inspired all of us to be better, because you got to understand, not only was he dealing with us as the new family, but we also had, which was incredible, we had background extras as the homeless people, and we had like 20 background extras that we were with for 6 weeks, and he treated all of us the same. Like, he just, and so he really sort of created a team. And when I did my nude scene, when we all went back into another part of the set, he goes, "Let's give Mary Kennedy a big standing ovation. She is truly now part of the Shameless family because she did a nude scene." And I was like, all right. So, he definitely moved the ship along. And and he's incredible. I mean, he put his hand on my shoulder. I always say the story. When I was hair and makeup at 5 a.m., petrified, and he put his hand on my shoulder. He goes, "I want to welcome you to set. I'm so glad you're here." Okay.
Wow.
And then I was, yeah. So it was probably the best experience I've ever had. And he taught me a lot. And the other actors did too. They are, the reason why they're so good is it's such a great ensemble. I mean, they really are.
Yeah. But that's the
Every
thing is that
single one.
that's the whole thing about the business that a lot of people who are not in it don't understand is that you're only as good as the person you're playing against. Like in other words, if you have playing against them, it brings your level up because you're playing opposite Bill Macy. Jesus, you know what I mean? Like it's not like in comedy. Do you know what I mean? Like yeah, because comedians hate to follow strong comics. Which, by the way, I would much rather follow somebody crushing a room
Me too.
eating a big dick. That's
Yeah,
just me.
Me too.
Again with the dick in the face. Dick in the eye and eating a big dick.
I'm in that mood, Julia. I'm in that big dick mood,
I
okay?
haven't been in a big dick mood since 2002. So don't talk to me about big dicks. I have no
Yeah.
talk to the dick.
I'm hungry all of a sudden.
So Mayor, I mentioned at the beginning about what we did with the Boston Comedy Festival and the women and stuff, like how different it is to be a woman in this business. Do you have any, we love hearing about horror stories. Like, do you have anything about being a comic as a woman that like your worst, okay, before I'll lead into it with this.
Okay.
This week, I think it was this week or last week. Who the fuck knows? But I think it was the Wall Street Journal did a whole article. This gentleman about that Jill Biden shouldn't use a doctor.
Yeah, I read it.
Oh my God, yes.
And so many women reacted the same. Like it feels to me that feels like you're a comedian. Do you know what I mean? Like it feels like exactly the same thing. So my question is like, what? I'm sure you've had. You worked in Boston for years, right?
Well, I started in New York, but I was on the road. I can tell you road stories. I mean,
right. Let's hear a horror road story. That's one of our favorite things to do. We love.
So,
boy.
I have two. I'm not gonna say who the star is. I have two. I'll tell you. I'll start with when I was pregnant, and then I'll get into the star. I'll use the pregnant one as a warm up. So I, was touring with a women's show, right? And I was basically the year that I was pregnant, I was touring 15 to 20 weeks. Well, and the guy that was sending us out, people have worked with him, and okay, but he's known for not. It's not five star. Just put it that way. So here I am pregnant, newly pregnant, barfing all the time. I mean, like ridiculous. And I was so sad I wasn't losing weight. But the fact of the matter is I was so sick, and I said to our quote unquote manager, which wasn't, because now I have a real manager and now I know the difference. I said to him, could you get me like a protein and like a fry, like some protein, a fry, and a Coke? So when I get off stage, because I opened the show, I said, I just need something because I'm dying here, right? And he goes, oh yeah, don't worry about it. I get off stage, Carole and Julia. I get off stage. I'm dying. My husband's in the audience too. He drove us up there. And there's a plate where all the chicken and the fries are eaten, and he's got a bone hanging out of his mouth. Like he ate the whole plate. And so I said to him, I go, is this our meal for the night? He's like, yeah, I'm sorry. I was hungry. And I was like, and then we go out. So this is the best. Then we go out after the show, and it was a good show, to debrief, right? And we're all eating. It's us. It's my husband. It's him. And he's with his girlfriend, and I'm starving. So I ordered, a big meal or whatever. And then he leaves early, and he leaves the check to my husband.
No.
Wow. Boy, you know what? I could, you know what? I'm sure
any manager, any number of shitty managers.
Oh yeah. I mean, like swirling through my head, I've picked out 6.
Yeah.
6
Horrible. And now I have a female manager. I love her, SK Management. She's wonderful. And I'm with the Happen Agency as my agent. So I have a whole women team now, and I tell them that story, and they are horrified. Horrified. So that was the first one. And then the second one was I was featuring up north for a very sort of name talent in the 80s. And it's another pregnant story. I was 6 weeks pregnant. He ended up getting a limo to take him to the club. We all stayed at the same hotel, and he wasn't going to allow me to take the limo with him to the club. That I was going to have to. Yeah. So he worked with me the first night, And I ended up riding the limo on the way back because he said it was okay. And I'm in the limo, and he's like a close talker, and he's like, I'm going to allow you in the limo all week. I'm going to allow you in the limo all week. And I was like, you're gross. Right. And I was like, and so then he told the woman that booked me for the show, he goes, I really like Mary. She's allowed to be in the limo. And then I got a call from them going, that's a really good sign that you're allowed to be in the limo with him. And then he was like, can I buy you a hot dog out of the rolling hot dog thing?
He's in a fucking limo. I think that when you see it's another
Wait,
dick
the
joke.
hot dog thing was in the limo?
No, the rolling hot dog thing was at the club, but he was
okay.
like, he's like, like when they say, let a lady buy, let me buy a lady a drink. He's like, let me buy a lady a hot dog. And I was like, are you, and I'm pregnant. Like I almost literally barfed on him. It was just so, but the fact that he was, and then he told me about his days, on a network, and he was this close talking to me. And I am like, like so horrified. And then him calling the booker going, I like her. She can take the limo with me.
Jeez, I can't. I'm trying to think of who this could be.
Well, wait. Okay,
I have a couple of names in my head, but I can't.
Okay, hold on. We're gonna try to figure this out without her having to say it. So when was it? What year was it?
What year was he popular?
He was popular in the 80s. This was in 80s, 90s. I was a huge fan because I love all that stuff. 2006, I was pregnant with my daughter. So it was back in 2006. He was doing road. People were shocked that he was on the road because he wasn't really a comic. No, it's not Michael Richards. And I did a week with him up north. And he was
your age? Were you age equivalent?
We're kind of close in age, yes.
Did he wear glasses?
On the show, he did.
Okay.
Okay. I think she just gave us a clue.
Did he go by his real name, or did he have a nickname on the show?
Oh, that's a good question. Oh, wait, let me see.
It was a very popular TV show, right? It was
very popular, super popular.
Did he also do Broadway?
I don't think so.
Okay.
And if he did, it was bad.
Okay, so he's not a legit actor.
Well, he did pretty well. Hold on. I'm just pulling it up. Let's put it this way. I'll give you this next hint. I probably will never work with him again. He became quite a bad boy. And got in trouble with the law very shortly after my gig with him.
Wow.
And you wouldn't think of that because of his character on the 80s show.
Okay, so if the audience is listening, if you have any fucking idea, because I have no fucking idea.
Was there a bell in the show?
We all know who it is. Okay. Really? Really?
What's my line? Remember what's my line? Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh yeah, but yeah, he's not. Yeah. Okay.
I don't know who I'm talking about.
You don't know who she's talking.
I do, but I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't know
It is who. Oh yeah, no, he got into a lot of trouble.
And it's not the Nice Principal, because I've worked with the Nice Principal. He was
so it is a school show. Okay.
Yeah. He was a really nice principal. He worked on a movie that my husband produced called Creative Differences that I produced and was at a part in. So it's not the Nice Principal. I can tell you that.
Yes.
Nice
And it's not Pauly Shore.
No, you said it was a comic.
Yeah. No, actually, but this guy really was never a comic, but this is like this was the first group of people that went out as comics that weren't comics, because now the equivalent to that now is the YouTube stars.
Yes.
Who did something funny on YouTube, so let's put them in the comedy clubs. And before that, it used to be, because I always give my partner, the EP of the specials, Dave Goldberg, I always gave him shit, because one time he says to me, because they also created and produced Gotham Live on Access.
Oh, right.
He says to me, he goes, don't be mad at me, but I think, and I forget which one it is. I'm just going to say it was The Situation.
Oh,
was
okay.
yeah.
was hosting the Jersey Shore, and I started screaming at him. I said, "Oh my God, I can't believe you're putting him on the show!" And he goes, "He has 3 million Twitter followers." So this guy that Mary's talking about is the version of that from back in the day.
What did he do that he got in trouble, Mary? What was one of
Oh,
the
a lot of assault, threatening, assault with a deadly weapon. Yeah.
I wish I had watched that show now.
So I could have been a goner in that limo. I mean, he was this close to me. God knows what could have happened.
Yeah,
but tell me when we're off the air then who it was, because I'm.
But it's just so funny to me.
Wait, one last question: is there a new version of the show now on TV?
It is coming. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't think he's a part of it.
Is he? Okay. He's not on it.
I don't think so.
I'm putting this up here because, and it's none of these people, but one of my friends and my old friend, Mark Petrocelli, he's watching and he said, "Is it any of these guys?"
No.
That's who I thought. All three of those guys, Mark. All three of them. That's who I thought.
No. And listen, no. And I, I mean, you just showed it to everybody. I have worked with Bonaducci. He actually looked at my set and was like, "You're really funny." I was like, "All right." So he's got, I worked with him at the Improv, Bonaducci.
Yeah. But it's just so funny that of course Petrocelli would pick those because those were the other bad boys of the time. And John Fox, but he's been dead for how long?
Yeah.
Do you remember John Fox, Julia?
Yes, I do.
Okay, because Mary, do you remember him?
No.
Okay, so John Fox was the epitome of a road comic. I mean, seriously, he's the reason why you don't eat the mayo in a condo. But this guy but this guy was just, I mean, drinker, druggy, brought home the skankiest fucking women. Yeah, I'm like, he was such a, he passed away shockingly from drugs.
Of course, yeah.
But oh my God. Okay, so I know who it is and you know who it is, but like Julia will have to tell you after.
Tell you later. Yeah, but it was horrifying.
Yeah.
But the thing is that, what makes me laugh also, because I was still going on the road and by myself and with this group, I realized that the headlining straight men, when I was their feature, they were so disappointed. Here I am pregnant, not drinking, married to a normal human. And they were like, I was absolutely of no use to them after the show. They're like, "Do you want to hang out?" I was like, "No, I'm going home and I'm going to take a bubble bath. See you later."
Yeah. And they wanted you to go out and, like people back in the day when we all used to do the road a lot, everyone would go out, you'd go out drinking, and the men, let's be honest, would, they would go out and they'd hopefully either get laid by by waitress or, or the feature.
Right.
Well, I used to do a joke. I think this was in my solo show, but I remember doing a joke about this time that I was in the condo and I was the headliner and I pick up the phone. This is before cell phones, people. And I pick up the phone and there was a woman on the other line like, "Who are you?" And I said, "I'm the other comic on the show." "What? How? What?" And I was like, "Honey, I'm the headliner. I'm not fucking a feature." Okay. And I hung up.
Yeah, I don't have time for this. Yeah, I mean, that's, now I'm headlining because of the Shameless credit. So, I don't, and I'm disappointing probably to the feature guy that they get me because I'm like, "See ya. I'm going to go and Zoom with my family or like call them, I mean.
Yeah.
You bring up a good point. I'm glad you touched on the thing about the Shameless credit because it's, and about the afterlife of something like that.
Right.
Because I know that for me, even though I did Carole's show, I'm still getting billed as, from the AGT stuff that I did.
Right.
How long do you think you could use that as the chip, to negotiate with?
Well, it's Shameless last season. So I personally think I probably have about 2 more years on this.
Yeah.
But I have Conan, and Conan is that they're ending, and then they're going to HBO. Fingers crossed.
Right.
I have a new short feature that's out called Girl Calling that's getting some stuff. So I'll pull stuff out if I feel like it's not working, but I probably have. That's the sad thing, because I have the time. I now probably have a solid, really good hour, but I'm also not, I'm known, but I'm not a known lady.
That's the rub right there. It doesn't matter. You have all these wonderful credits, and you're like super talented, but it's like Carol was saying earlier, some YouTube Yahoo can go. I mean, there's a person out there now who's selling out places. I never heard of him,
Right.
but people love this guy, and
Right.
And it's a shame, for people like yourself, that you should be packing houses.
Right. Well, not now, but
Not now, but I mean,
and I did. I mean, here's the thing: when Shameless did come out, and I did have fans, I was able to pack the house. But then there's that pressure. Then there's that pressure for
Right.
you to pack the house all the time.
Right.
And then people are like, well, you're not on this season. I go, no, I only had a 6-episode arc. So, it's a lot of pressure. And also, my hope, and my agents and my managers say, listen, there's a series regular there for you at some point, or some big guest star that's going to show up, and then you'll use that. And I get that. I ended up getting PR for Shameless. So I ended up really getting myself out there. But I do see it dwindling. That's, in the last, I would say, month, I've had more Shameless interviews. And I think it's because they're in their last season.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But that's, it's so interesting because we all have major credits, and then, and especially for Julia and I, literally, as I'm sure we did the Today Show on Friday. Saturday, the second show aired, and Monday we were in full lockdown. So, hey, do you know what I mean? We're still shell shocked from that, and then the tour that we were supposed to do, that got canceled. The agency that was handling the tour fucking closed their doors after 42 years in the business. So we're starting from scratch again. In my case, and I think both in your case and in Julia's case, we're the type of people that just keep going.
Yeah,
because we've been in the mud, and when I say we're in the mud, we've been in the trenches for so long. It's like we literally go, all right, okay, now what do I have to fucking do?
And I have to say, we were talking about managers earlier, and I just got to give a shout out to mine, because Tom Ingenio is one of the most wonderful human beings I've ever worked with, and
he's a good guy,
caring man, and he just, this guy calls me. He'll just call me because I'm calling my clients today. Just want to make sure you're all right.
That's so great.
Yeah, he's a great guy. He's a great guy. Yeah. He owes me money, but he's a great guy.
No, and that's the thing. I have such a great team. I mean, Shauna Griffith over at the Happen Agency, she's the one that submitted me for the Shameless. And, she's amazing. And then she helped me get Sharon, who's my manager, Sharon King. And they just get me. I've never had a team that just gets me, and listen, I was with Bobby Ball before that commercially, and they were great too. But I decided, I'm working on some projects as a producer and a writer, and, I've talked to Carol about this. And so now my team, I really feel like they really, honest to God, really get me. And they, and it makes me feel good because I can be my authentic self with them. I mean, I had one agent way back. I had a really good agent at Amy Entertainment, and then I had some things between it. And this agent goes, I have no idea how to promote you. I don't know what to do with you. Well, that you don't want to be with that person. If they don't know what to do, you gotta.
Well, after all the years, I was with a manager who shall remain nameless, I'd been headlining for years, and all of a sudden it became, well, you're not a national headliner. I'm like, what? When somebody who's supposed to be making money off of you goes, you're not this, that's time to leave. It's time to leave. And I think we're all very lucky in the sense that you have your managers, you have Tom, even though Dave, my partner in Funny Women, he's not my manager, but he's my, my partner. We produce the show together. I know, just the same way about your people, he's got my back. If I have anything new, I bring it to him right away, because we were able to sell the show without a manager and without an agent, just on our own credits.
Amazing.
So it's so important for people to understand that are watching that are not in the business. If you've got somebody, like if anybody's watching who's a young comic, or if you have somebody and you're not comfortable with the way they're treating you, get rid of them.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, they're the ones that are going to make money off of you. And if that's why sometimes when people go, I want to be with a big agent. No, you don't. Because unless you're making 10 million a year, you're gonna be hey, I'm with William Morris, woohoo, and they're not gonna do shit for you.
Well, yeah, and I'm in the hallway right now, and it's what we call in the business. I'm in the hallway, like I'm auditioning for so much stuff. Thank you. But the smaller parts, like the small 1-2 liners, I'm going in, I'm doing a kick-ass audition, but they don't want to waste me on that. They want to wait till the bigger role comes up. So my agent, she'll call me and she'll go, Mary, you did an amazing audition. The reason why I didn't book it is because they were saving you for something. And I have to really believe that. And
absolutely.
So but I'm in the hallway. I'm waiting for that next Shameless gig. I mean, I'm waiting, well, not Shameless, but something, and that's just the nature of the business. But I'm in it for the long haul. 99% of what I do is audition, and I love it. For those that don't like to audition, it's a long haul.
I'm in the process now of trying to crack that. Being a transgendered person, it makes it a little bit more difficult to get somebody to see you for something. It's, because all they want to see you for is transgendered roles, and I can do more than that. But to convince them of that, you have to get something to show them that you can do that.
Yeah,
it's a catch-22, and it sucks, to be quite honest with you.
But I'm going to tell you, Julia, the first time somebody takes that chance and you show them what you can do, you're going to be so fucking busy, because people are like, oh, wait a minute, she can do what?
I ain't getting any younger, so if they're going to take the chance. Hello.
Okay, on that note, ladies, it's already time to go. My goodness, this was so much fun.
I know.
But everybody, who's ever watching in the business, you need to book both of these fabulous ladies as actresses. They are just amazing. And me, just send me money. I don't even want to work anymore, people.
Hey, Mary, mother-daughter kind of
No,
thing.
I was just thinking that. I'm not kidding. I mean, you could play she could play Betty. She could play my mother in a heartbeat. Look at her.
Oh, absolutely. See, we've got something right now, people. We've got something right now. All right. Mary, do you have anything you want to plug before we leave you?
But before we leave me, I'm just working. Just keep a lookout for me on M. Kennedy Comedy. Listen, I'll push the Biz Studio is a professional acting program for adults, and my youth acting biz is a professional acting program for kids. We just had twins go to network, so I coach and coach actors and kid actors and adult actors. And we have a writer's room for comics. So, I would love for you guys to be in our drop-in Zoom classes. They start up again in January.
I would love to talk more about the writer's room. I want to really hear about that. Julia, let's plug your, there we go.
Oh, I love it.
There it is.
Oh, I love you. Oh my God.
We're going to end the show, but I can stay around. So don't leave yet, Mary. Okay. I'm going to end it.
We want to find out the name of this person.
I love you both. Thank you so much for having me on.
Happy holidays, everybody. We'll see you next week, and we'll stick around, ladies. We'll be right back.